Good afternoon. I'm Israeli government spokesperson Ilana Stein. This is day 138 of the October 7th war. First, I will share an update on our casualties. IDF fatalities since the start of the October 7th massacre have risen to 576. This is one up since yesterday. The people of Israel grieve with the family of Staff Sergeant Abraham Wuvagan, aged only 21, from Netanya. Staff Sergeant Wuvagan fell in battle in the northern Gaza Strip. The IDF and all the people of Israel share in the unbearable grief of his family. We will continue to accompany them at this impossible time. Our hearts go out to all the families of those soldiers killed in action, as well as those who were murdered, taken hostage, and wounded. May their memories be a blessing. Regarding the release of our hostages, we continue to do everything to release the 134 hostages that are still cruelly held by the Hamas terror organization and return them to their families. Alongside a determined military effort, Israel is in continuous contact with the mediating countries to set them free. Now an update from Gaza. Over the last 24 hours, the IDF has conducted targeted raids in Zaytun, south of Gaza City. Our troops targeted and killed terrorists locating weapons in residential buildings. Terrorists who fired anti-tank missiles at our troops were also eliminated and their tunnels destroyed. In Khan Yunis, our intensified operations have led to the death of dozens of terrorists. The Giv'adi Brigade encountered and killed around 20 terrorists. Paratroopers and Commando Brigade also targeted and eliminated armed terrorists approaching them. Now an important series of revelations published last night. Our Paratrooper Brigade released detailed evidence of a large quantities of weapons stored at a UN school compound in Khan Yunis. It is yet another illustration of Hamas' exploitation of civilians to support their bloodthirsty agenda. The school had been used as a humanitarian shelter for Gazan residents. And here's what we found there: AK-47s, warheads, grenades, RPGs, vests, and Hamas uniforms. I say this again. These were found in a UN school where Gazans were sheltering. Even while we fought Hamas terrorists in close quarters, our soldiers evacuated civilians from the combat zone. We found 60 terrorists hiding among the civilians. These terrorists tried to hide, but we got them. Now we're questioning them here in Israel. Once again, Hamas terror is hiding in a UN facility. And now an update from the north. Yesterday, areas of Kibbutz Misgav Am and Margaliot were targeted with, thankfully, no injuries. Our fire jets struck Hezbollah targets. A Hezbollah drone aircraft was located in the area of Western Galilee as well. Now an update regarding the UN. Israel is grateful for the United States for its veto of the Algerian drafted UN resolution yesterday. This resolution demanded an immediate ceasefire that will leave the Hamas terror regime intact. As the Prime Minister said, there is considerable pressure on Israel at home and abroad to stop the war before we achieve all of our goals, including a deal at any price to free the hostages. We very much want to achieve another release, and we are prepared to go far, but we are not prepared to pay any price. Certainly not the delusional prices that Hamas is demanding of us, which means the defeat of the State of Israel. The Prime Minister stated again that we are committed to continuing the war until we achieve all of its goals: eliminating Hamas, releasing all of the hostages, and ensuring that Gaza never again constitute a threat to Israel. There is no pressure, none, that can change this. I want to remind you that the founding charter of the UN calls for the peaceful settlement of international disputes with the principle of justice and international law. Hamas does not believe in justice and does not believe in international law. What it does believe is that Israel should not exist. Hamas openly says that given the opportunity, they would carry out another October 7th again and again. So keeping Hamas intact would give it that opportunity. Now an update from Kogat. 98 aid trucks carrying humanitarian aid were inspected and transferred to the Gaza Strip yesterday. Yesterday, also, 4 tankers of cooking gas designated for the operation of essential infrastructure entered Gaza. A delegation of 20 doctors and medical staff are expected to enter the Gaza Strip today in order to support the medical response. A United Arab Emirates floating hospital is expected to dock at the El Arish port in the coming days. The floating hospital will be able to treat patients from Gaza. Today, between 10 and 2 p.m., the IDF paused operations in the El Janina neighborhood in the town of Rafah in order to enable movement of humanitarian aid. But most importantly, something that I almost never see reported in the international media. There's still hundreds of trucks worth of humanitarian aid sitting at the Gazan side of the Kerem Shalom crossing. It's been there for days, waiting for the UN to pick it up. U.S. officials are scapegoating Israel to cover up their own incompetence. That brings us to the end of today's briefing. I will be happy to take your questions. Thank you.
Thank you. First question from Silvia Brasca from TGLA7, Italy. What about the rumors of Sinwar's escape to Egypt?
As you said, those are rumors, and I can tell you that wherever he is in the world, we do not wish him well.
Second question from Lior Soroka from the Washington Post. You said in your statement that Israel is in contact with the different mediators to release the hostages. Is an Israeli delegation expected to leave for Cairo today? And will Israeli representatives attend the meeting in Paris regarding the expected deal?
I can't go into the details of these issues, so you'll have to just wait and see what happens. What you do know is that we're doing everything in our power in whatever way we can to bring back the hostages, whether through these meetings and whether it's in other ways. We have to do everything. It's been 138 days of them being hostage in inhumane conditions, so we must bring them back home, all of them.
Thank you. That was the last question.
Thank you very much. We'll see you in the next briefing.